let us continue. Sir Emmerich, what do you have? What say you? Litany of Peace. Okay. Cutscene beginneth. Commence. My own friendship with Estinian began some 10 years past, shortly after we joined the Temple Knights. I learned his name soon enough, but Estinian barely registered my existence. I was less a fellow recruit and more a shadow which occasionally darkened his path, and so I might have remained, had fate not seen fit to intervene. While out on patrol, our company was set upon by a dragon, and we were the only two to survive. The experience forged a bond between us, as such life-threatening situations are wont to do. Despite our friendship, he remained an intense and solitary youth, wholly obsessed with claiming vengeance against Nidhogg. Revenge was ever at the forefront of his mind, revenge for the death of his parents, and revenge for his younger brother. I would venture that in Alphino he sees something of his lost sibling. And in the ungentle chidings of Estinian, Alphino has found the elder brother he never had. I like that, it's cute. Truth be told, Estinian's tactless observations have saved me from disaster more than once, and I can well understand Alphino's affection for him. He's a friend for whom I would gladly. And then the door bursts open. A knight runs in. Lord Commander, your presence is required in the infirmary. Is he? Tell them I'm on my way. We still have to talk to him? Quickly, Mercy, we must go to him. Upon proceeding to the infirmary, several cutscenes will play in sequence. I need time. That's fine. Yeah, that's fine. That's what this video is for. With a cutscene, Alphino is on his knees, either praying or crying, his, arms on the bed, and Estinian is laying on his back on the bed. And Emmerich...
Estinian!
Fuck. You and Emmerich look to each other, and then you run into the room. I have resurrection. Estinian is... He has long white... Oh, his eyes are open. And he turns to Alphino.
Cease your mewling, boy. It grates my ears.
Cease your mewling, boy. I'm sorry if I interrupted that.
Forgive me. When I saw you awaken, I could not... It was such a relief.
Oh my god.
We feared you might never wake up.
Fuck you, game. Oh my god.
Now, Estinian. If Master Alphino thought any less of you, you would still be Nidhogg's plaything. Or dead. Aye, 'twas but a jest. I thank you, Alphino. And you too, Warrior of Light. Quite how you managed to persuade Hraesvogr to aid in his brood brother's downfall I cannot imagine. But full glad am I that you did. 'Tis an honor to share the mantle of Azure Dragoon with one such as you.
I wonder if the text would be different if I was not a level 60? I think I'm level 60 Dragoon, yeah. I wonder. Because I wouldn't be an Azure Dragoon or Azure.
I, for my part, owe you an apology.
In that case.
When last we met, I did willingly loose an arrow at your heart. Can you forgive me?
There is naught to forgive, Emmerich. You but acted in defense of Ishgard, as is your duty. Were you any less single-minded about it, I would not follow you into battle, nor trust you at my back.
Okay, so why is his voice so much rougher in his dragoon armor than it is now? He's like very soft-spoken, soft-featured. Like, I know he's an elf, so there's some softness to the features anyway. Whatever. Still.
Besides, I had come to the selfsame conclusion, that I would have to perish for Nidhogg to be stopped. So let us dispense with the hand-wringing. I have heard enough mewling for one day.
Oh!
Elf now. A little bit of shock, and then like, what? That kind of hand motion. Shrug, shoulder shrug. Estinian's playing with him. It's good to see.
The tendrils of Nidhogg's foul presence bound up every fiber of my being, usurping my senses, but I yet retained some trace of awareness.
He's looking up at the ceiling now. The camera.
The worm's mind was as a vast and tumultuous sea. Endlessly its black waters churned, his grief and despair at Ratatoska's murder never calming, never receding. And driven by this surging current came wave upon wave of unrelenting rancor. It was the very image of my own heart. There I saw the dark reflection of the hatred I felt after Nidhogg slew my family, when no path remained save vengeance against dragonkind. Neither one of us had a choice. But I was blessed with something Nidhogg was not. Comrades and teachers to console and admonish me. Had I not had them to gainsay my obsession, it would surely have consumed me as Nidhogg's did him, and we would have been in all respects alike.
Sorry.
Though his shade is banished, his spirit scattered upon the sea of clouds, I feel no joy at his passing. Where once I craved vengeance, I now crave rest. Lord Commander, my hunt is at an end. I would lay down the mantle of Azure Dragoon.
My friend.
He has tired himself with too many words. I doubt not that he will make a full recovery, but he must be allowed some few days of quiet.
Estinian, sorry. Emmerich takes one last look back at...
I too must see my path to its end. Sleep well, my friend.
What do you mean by that, bud? We are inside the...
Following the battle with Nidhogg on the steps of faith, Sir Emmerich called an assembly that he might make his final proclamation as acting head of state. 'Twas there, with one decree, that the 1,000-year rule of the archbishops was ended, paving the way for a new republic.
Bostock? Final Fantasy XI joke.
The governance of Ishgard would now be placed in the hands of high and lowborn alike, their ranks represented by the newly founded House of Lords and House of Commons. Church was separated from state. The foundation for change had been carefully laid, and the reforms proposed by Ishgard's new government passed into law without incident. His duty done, Emeric de Burrell gladly stepped down from the Archbishop's dais, only to be raised unto the highest seat in the House of Lords.
End of cutscene. Beginning of another.
Though he strove at first to refuse this honor, the unexpectedly strident voice of the Count de Durandare left him little choice but to accept. And so it was that the winds of gentle revolution came to stir.
Another cutscene. Outside of the vault, Vidofnir and that spiky white silver dragon, are here.
Prominent among the many honored guests at Sir Emeric's investiture were the ambassadors of Dragonkind, a fitting symbol of Ishgard's newfound peace.
Emeric is giving a speech at the base of the stairs with everybody in attendance, clapping, Lucia at his side. The lords, common folk. He looks to the dragons. I don't even know who this spiky-ish white silver dragon is. Oh, the young girl who was saved by Vidofnir comes running up.
The people looked on in awe as he soared through the heavens on Dragonback. And by their cheers did they hail him an azure dragoon for a new age.
Oh, so Emeric would be the new Azure Dragoon. We see Estinian watching them fly away together. He has a bouquet of flowers, a spear at his back, but he's not armored in the Azure Dragoon armor. Any armor at all, actually. Just wearing a tunic. Who the flowers are for is a mystery to me still. We see Hraesvalgr flying the skies with you at his side on another dragon.
Thus were the notes of the dragon song rewritten, the din of war giving way to a rising litany of peace and hope.
Hraesvalgr looks to you and smiles as you're flying, happy to be soaring the skies. Your dragon peels away, and Hraesvalgr continues on to his, white, large circumference tower. One final roar for your benefit. From the memoirs of Count Edmond de Fortam, Heavensward. Since it's one word, I would think it's Heavensward. Because Heaven's Ward would have an apostrophe, I would think. Although, yeah, and now we see Lord Edmond writing. Theoretically, these are his memoirs that he's writing. There's some books on his desk. A lot of books, thick books. He puts down the quill, closes his eyes, opens them, closes the book, and the book's title page, the cover says Heavensward. Leans back in his chair, content with his work, it looks like. The helmet of the Azure Dragoon is left by the bedside, like on the windowsill, basically. And alright, we're gonna speak with Emmerich. I think we're at the airship dock here in Ishgard. Cutscene. I was gazing out at the sea of clouds in an all too rare moment of idleness when I chanced to behold a certain hero wending her way toward the city on dragonback. Welcome home, Mercy. Nay, 'twas no grave matter that moved me to greet you in person. Between you and me, I merely sought respite from the pressures of office. No sooner do I surrender my role as temporary head of state than I am burdened with a position of more permanent responsibility. I fancy that it echoes in some small measure the way you must feel when your improbable feats of heroism are rewarded with still more impossible challenges. The myth which guided our society for generations lies in tatters. Am I then to be scorned for building upon the system of nobility that I once sought to tear down? And what strange jest is this that places me at its pinnacle? An archbishop's bastard at the head of the House of Lords? You like put your hands on the small of your back and like think about it for a second? But these questions are for me to answer. It is not in man's nature to change overnight. This I learned through painful experience, and it was this hard lesson which convinced me to take the path which we now follow. Even as we rebuild the bridge between man and dragon, so must we reimagine Ishgard, one carefully placed stone at a time. We must remember that it is not for us that we lay this groundwork, but for the men and women that our children will become. May their towers rise proudly from the fundament of our legacy. You smile and nod at this. He smiles back. I hear word from Captain Whitescape that Estinian has vanished from his sick room. His willfulness survives undiminished. Should you ever happen upon our unmannerly friend on your travels, pray assure him that I shall keep Ishgard safe until he deigns to come home. Thank you, Mercy, and please convey my warmest regards to Master Alphino. He walks off. Alright. We're going to House Fortom. There are side quests with the whole plus symbol that I do want to pick up eventually. So yeah, there's a few of them. There's two here that aren't unlocking a new class related. I think there was one in the main... No. There's three here, shit. What's your sign is Astrologian. A Dark Spectacle, I believe, is the Dark Knight. You know, tank. Whatever. Let's go inside House Fortom. Alphino and Tataru are here. Speak with Alphino. You spoke with Sir Emmerich. I do not envy him his new position. Ishgard has chosen a new road, but one littered with the detritus of 1,000 years of broken faith. Yet, though her people may stumble from time to time, I know of none better than Sir Emmerich to lead the march of progress. As for us, there remains the small matter of ushering in a new dawn in the shadow of inscrutable Asian machinations and a seemingly endless procession of primals. But we too must walk our chosen path, no matter how treacherous the footing. Litany of Peace is complete. I get a wind-up Emmerich, dragon song orchestration roll, and an alpine coat that I would assume is mostly used for looking cool, glamours and whatnot. In the wake of Ishgard's governmental reform, new airship routes have been sanctioned. You may now travel to a selection of distant locales from landing in Ishgard. From the landing in Ishgard, sorry. We see another cutscene. Snow. The outside of Ishgard, the bridge. The long bridge. There is a paladin. White shield, white sword, black armor. Seems to be talking to himself. Staring down into the abyss. Oh, fuck, where the eyes might be. His mouth is moving as if he's talking. Oh, he's talking to his earpiece. And then he gives this weird smile. But yeah, he's standing looking into the abyss where we threw the eyes, I think. And now we see another cutscene. A lush forest. Tall, gigantic trees. He's talking to the warrior of darkness. Thank you, Blanhaers. Blanhaerz. Blanhaers. Nay, you need not remain there. We shall rendezvous at the usual place, says the warrior of darkness. We've met him before. He's speaking with Elidibus, the Ascian, in white robes. All is proceeding as expected, then? Aye, there's naught to concern us, aside from one overly curious mouse. I'm gonna do the Ascian's voice more. Oh shit. This isn't Alphino, this is his sister, who seems to be spying on them. And the Warrior of Darkness tries to charge her when Thancred throws a dagger at his feet. This way! And the two of them run off. Him again, says the Warrior of Darkness. It is of no moment. They will play their part and we will play ours. He's gritting his teeth. He doesn't like that he had to let them get away. And thus did the grey mist give way to azure skies, man and dragon rise above, voices join in song, but beneath shrouded boughs, beyond the scope of light, shadow stirs. Sorry, I had looked down at my phone for a second, but there's just nicely lettered text there. That is the end of Litany of Peace. It is the end of this video. I'll be back for more soon.